He's played Griffiths a total of 11 times in competition since they first met in 1979, and Griffiths actually holds an 8-3 lead in that little personal series. This, though, is another day.
One, Terry Griffiths.
The way that Griffiths played that shot, he could only possibly leave the red that he actually played, and he's been lucky enough to see it go safe.
Terry Griffiths, 1. Ball stroke, 4, Terry Griffiths. One. Eight.
Well, you might have heard the rock-like sound as the cue ball contacted that red. Griffith still managed to pot it, but he had no hesitation in asking referee Len Ganley to clean the cue ball.
$14. Terry Griffiths.
Not very near with that attempt at a long red. One. Six.
7. Seven, Terry Griffiths.
Yes, that's the only red that Griffiths can see. The pot is not easy, and there's not much value in it either, because he can't get position on the black.
And that's an excellent shot from Terry there. Just clipping the red and going back to the baulk end of the table.
This is high quality safety play that we're seeing. Very little indeed been missed in this match so far, and the safety and tactical play has been really excellent from both players.
Foul stroke. 1 Alex Higgins, 4 Terry Griffiths.
Well, always the danger with that type of stroke. Very difficult to calculate it exactly right. No, there wasn't quite room for Griffiths to get past the brown to pot that red.
Four. 5. 10.
Brown was his intended next colour, but he's overrun it slightly. No prospect now of taking a colour and opening up the remaining reds.
Terry Griffiths, 11. Alex Higgins, 1. Terry Griffiths, 42.
The product of 20 minutes play in this second frame. And these very thin safety shots are not disturbing that cluster of reds very much. Neither player feels that it's in his interests to risk anything and open up the cluster of reds. Or to put it another way, both are very confident of their safety game. Higgins chose not to play a safety shot from the other reds because he would have left that one potable for his opponent. Preferred instead to play as if he was snookered. Griffiths may be a little fearful here of sending a second red over the corner pocket. Not the red he hits, but the red that initial red will hit. Well, that was just a bit too thin, hence the double kiss.
Thank you.
And has got a nice angle on the brown now to come down for these reds. Obviously tried to split them.
5.
But we'll now be playing another thin safety shot, I would think.
Alex Higgins.
The escape was nicely judged, but it was lucky for Higgins that cue ball finished behind the green. He had no means of knowing that it would do that.
Ball stroke, 7, Alex Higgins.
Just a few seats left in the Guildhall this afternoon, but nevertheless another very big crowd.
Playing the pink in the middle, so obviously the red just below the black will go into the right hand corner pocket.
Seven. Alex Higgins, 8.
Yes, the cue ball was too close to the side cushion for him to get
42. Alex Higgins,
any spin
21.
on it to have any hope of continuing his break.
Foul stroke, 4. A free ball, Alex Higgins.
Yes, it's not so much the 4, but the free ball could be quite important.
Alex now working out a way of getting on another colour after this blue to be able to split those two reds. Probably want to leave it short on the black so that he can pot the black and screw the white back into those two reds.
1. Eight.
Well, there didn't appear to be much room round behind the back of the red, but Higgins found it.
Alex Higgins, 8.
Higgins narrowing the gap to 9 points, and this fascinating tactical frame already in progress 31 minutes. And one consequence of a lot of tactical play is that the player's potting just tends to go a bit.
One.
If the cue ball hadn't kissed the pink, Higgins would have a much straighter red
6.
along the top cushion, and he'd prefer that.
Alex Higgins, 6. Five, please.
Martin Griffiths, still an interested spectator, the gentleman in the middle there, watching his son defend his UK title.
One.
And now, of course, Alex's problem is getting on the yellow, which is going to be rather difficult, as it's partially covered with the brown.
Six. Alex Higgins.
And having been 41 points behind, Higgins has struggled his way 3 points in front.
Terry Griffiths, 42. Alex Higgins, 45.
Griffiths would like a slightly different angle on this. If he attempts to pot the brown, the pocket will be slightly out of his line of vision. He'd be happier if it was a little straighter.
Yes, I don't think we'll see Terry go for this. It's dangerous shot. It's the sort of shot where the brown would tend, if he misses it, would tend to finish near the pocket.
Well, Griffiths knew the dangers, and the fact that he took that shot on a tour shows how confident he is.
Nine, Terry Griffith.
I think he's done it now, though. Blue and pink would have been sufficient for him, but the last three colours now well on for Higgins.
5. $11.
A fascinating frame of 36 minutes duration. Higgins has won it on the black and goes into a 2-0 lead.
So the patience and excellent safety play there of Alex Higgins, bringing the reward, bearing out exactly what he was saying to us here just a few minutes before the start of this semi-final this afternoon. If you just popped in and joined us, let me point out you're watching the semi-final live, the first 2 frames there, and of course just 4 men now left in this championship, 4 winners of the quarterfinals. Terry Griffiths and Alex Higgins playing today. Griffiths, the defending champion, against Higgins, twice a finalist, but he's never won here. In fact, he lost out to Steve Davis in 1980, and of course to Terry Griffiths in the final last year. And then tomorrow we have the other quarterfinal, Jimmy White against Steve Davis, the world champion, who's won here on 2 occasions. So our semi-final lineup, just to put it right into perspective for you, there we are. Griffiths versus Higgins and White versus Davis. The semi-finals still over the best of 17 frames, first man to 9, and then of course on Saturday and Sunday the final, which is a bit of a marathon over 31 frames for the top prize here of $12,000.